All right, well, we're going to take you through. It's really user friendly. And I think we've got everything we need to get started. So to start, go to canva.com. Seems like a no-brainer, but everyone there.
And if you don't pro version, if you have the free version, you might not have some of the features that we're going to talk about. So that might be a little impulse buy right now if you want to get it. If not, free, but and typically the nonprofits get the pro version for free. So if you're in either one of those rooms, you gotta have it pro. You need to get it.
Yes. And usually there's a free trial, but if there's anything that you don't want to sign up for pro right now, you can just follow along with what we're doing. So you'll have it. And we're also recording this on a Zoom right now. So we'll send this to everybody after. So you can go back and reference and make sure you got all the information you need. So we're going to do just a quick start, what you would do if you needed to make a Facebook post because your business is having a spring sale. So it's like we said, it's very easy to do. We're going to go into templates. And you can click social media. I'm saying Facebook post. There's a lot of different ways to do all of this. This is one of the easier ways, so that's what I'm showing you. And then you can search for the template. So I'm going to say spring sale. And let's see. And I want to pick something, like I said, didn't put my filter in, whatever. That has some pictures in it, because one of the things we want to show you is how to upload pictures and replace pictures. So let's see. There's this one. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to say customize this template. And one thing I would say for me, I do nature photography on the side, so I don't need a person in dress up clothes, whatever. So I'm going to go to uploads, and this is how you will upload photos for yourself. Any kind of graphics you have, logos, anything like that. So I'm going to my desktop where I've made my little Canva workshop. You click on that and you let your photo upload, which will take just a minute. And once it's done, you click on it and drag it right onto that picture, so it replaces it. And then from there, you can double click onto it. And if you want to resize it to make it fill up the frame better, whatever you need to do. So that is a quick introduction into how to upload photos. And then next we're going to go into fonts. So if you want to change what your fonts are to more fit your brand or anything like that. How's everyone doing so far? Good. All right, Jodi, you want to take over? Fonts. That's okay.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to change some fonts. So if you will click on one of your text boxes, I'm going to click on spring. Over in the fonts up here at the toolbar, when you click on this, you can actually search fonts by different themes. So you'll see here it says modern, rounded, handwriting. You can do feelings too, though. So if you wanted to do not for Easter, but for Halloween, if you wanted to do scary, you can kind of see these different fonts that come up that express that feeling or that emotion. So that's one way to search. What did we do? Cute. So we're going to do cute for spring. And so here's like a curvy little cute one. Yeah, so we can select those. Another thing that you can do with your fonts is you can do different effects on them, and you're going to click here under effects. And then you have different things that you can do to make them stand out. So shadows puts a little shadow behind it. Lift kind of pulls it off the page. So if you are having contrast issues, sometimes the lift will help with that. Let's see. And then down here at the bottom, this is where you can give it curvature. If you wanted to curve it, let's say we want to curve this around the top of this circle here. So I'm just going to click it and drag it up. I clicked on the curve over here, then clicked on my font. And what you can do is it's at 100% right now, but see how I can open that up and you can kind of match the diameter of the circles, the shapes of the circles to get it to curve in a way that makes sense for the curvature that you need. You can also curve it the other direction. So you'll just pull this sliding bar at the bottom over to the other side, and it's going to curve upward instead of downward. Everybody got that one? If you guys need us to stop or you need help, I have a couple of interns in here who can come over and help you. Just slip your hand up and they can, or wave it wildly in the air, and they can come and help you. Okay. And the great thing about Canva is that you can really play around with it, because this back button here at the top in the taskbar, if we just hit back, it's going to go back through all of these things and put things back in. So if you kind of you're feeling really creative, you get really far and you feel like you've gone too far, it's like too much, you can just back it up and even get back to the original design. So tracking or letter spacing is important, because sometimes you need words to spread across a bigger space. And sometimes you need the lines to be further apart or closer together. You can also quickly change the size of the font here, or you can even drag it and make it bigger or smaller just by grabbing the box. But let's see, this would do the tracking. Okay, so I'm going to click on this bottom portion here where it has two lines that are the same text. Does everybody see that one at the bottom? So I'm going to click on this 3 lines with the arrow up and down. This is your spacing. I'm going to click on that. And what we can do is drag this to, this is the line spacing. So we can increase the line spacing.
Can you back up and show me how you got the line spacing open?
Right here, just this little button right here. And if you forget stuff, just kind of hover over and it'll tell you a lot of things. But the line spacing is here. Let's see if we can make this a little bigger. There we go. Okay, so line spacing is here. And then the letter spacing is the top one. So you can spread those out if you need them out. And if it pops out of out of shape, see how my box expanded? And I'm like, ooh, I really need that to fit here. What you can do is you can just drag this box out and then see it compresses back down into 2 lines. So the text will fit in whatever box size you tell it to. So you can kind of dictate how large or small or tall or wide you want that to be. And then if you want to move the text, you simply just grab the box and move it around. Just click on it. Okay, so let's say that you find a font that you really, or you find a template that you really, really like, but you're not digging the font that's on it. You're like, I want something different. Let's say that we really like this spring font here. Okay, I'm going to click on it. And at the top, it's going to give me the other fonts that are on the page. Hopefully. Oh, no. I've still got cute on there, so I need to clear cute.
It's another text style.
I don't know.
That might be one of the things
settings and.
Oh, here we go. So at the top, it should always, if you have no filters pulled up for your fonts, it should always give you the texts that are in the design at the top. Those should always be your first choices. Yes.
I have work with against the black here, what you're doing. Like, you're seeing in the white version, it's in dark mode.
I'm not good.
Oh. I was like, I don't see black. I don't know.
Oh my God. How do I do that?
It's under settings. So go to home.
Let me see if I can do it from like one.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be account settings.
Yeah, but that's the same thing. Yeah. Scroll down. Where's it at, AJ?
You should be able to go to top right.
Oh, right here.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Is that better? Maybe.
Your canvas actually dark. Okay. Also, you may want
There
to
you go.
zoom in on the actual design.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
hard to see from back there.
There we go.
Is that better?
50% better.
That's a great thing to point out too. If you need to really zoom in on something to see if your font looks the way that you want it to, because you're going to be printing it or it's going to be an enlarged design, maybe a poster or something like that, you can zoom in really far on these designs. So we're going to leave it here. And we're working on this line here. So to me, these lines are too far spaced. I'm going to pull those back down a little bit. But let's say that we want to change. We really like the spring font up at the top. So we're going to change this one to spring. So we're going to click on our fonts and it was Moonlight. Okay, so I'm going to click on Moonlight. And it's not there. Let me change one more.
This was on your.
Oh. Right here, do you see this pop-up that says change all? If you click that, it automatically changes all of the fonts from the first one to the second one throughout your whole design. Okay, so let me do that again. Okay, so we really like this spring font. And if you don't know what it is, just click on it and then the name pops up here in the font box. So that's Moonlight. We really like Moonlight. We're going to change everything to well, that's not a good idea, but for this, we're going to do it. When you click one of them or maybe two, do you see at the bottom here where it says change all? Everybody finding that? Yes. If it's not popping up, change 2 different blocks of font and it should pop up at the bottom. You can also do that with colors. If you're changing colors in a design, the change all should pop up at the bottom to easily change all of your colors.
That won't work for every single color in document, but it works if like, say like with this one, you've got the dark green, you've got white, you've got black. And you wanted to change all the dark green where you have several things that are the same dark green. Then it will change to whatever other color you say.
Yeah,
It's
here.
something you
I'm
kind
gonna-
of to really understand it.
So. No, whoops, no,
Things don't want to do something.
okay. I was just going to show them really quickly. Okay. So let's say that I have this design and it has a bunch of blocks on it and I want to change the colors. When I start changing the colors here, do you see where this pops up and it asks me, do I want to change all of the purple to green? And if I do that, it changes all of the purple to green, but it will only change for that one particular color. So if this one is yellow, and I hit change all, it only changes the ones of the color that you're on when you tell it to change all. So it can be very useful when you're changing themes. If a background and the elements and the squares and everything are, you know, dark and you're trying to get to a light colored theme, this is an easy way for you to do that. All right. So I'm going to show you how to do custom size backgrounds. Maybe especially with the school teachers, you guys need custom sized things. The way that you're going to do that is you just simply go to the home screen. Is this going to refresh into?
Yeah.
There we go. You're going to go to the home screen, and in the upper right-hand corner, you should see create a design. When you click that, at the bottom, it's going to give you the option it's going to first give you the option for the most common designs, and it will learn what you commonly do and have those at the top. But you can also click custom design, and it will ask you if you want this design done in pixels, inches, millimeters, centimeters, and you can kind of decide what you want that to be. There is a limit on the inches though, and the millimeters. I'll tell you it will only go up to a certain point, that you can scale the design in other places. So let's say that we need a 4x6. We're just going to type that in and hit create. And now we have a 4x6 design. Okay. Is everybody caught up to this point? Heather, you good?
I couldn't toggle back and forth. I'm just watching.
Okay, we're making a recording of this too, so we can always send you the recording so you can do it at home and kind of listen to it, the prompts, or have dual screen and go through it again. Okay. I'm going to show you how to do something with elements if you're trying to create a specific look for a custom size. Elements is over here on the left-hand panel. So everybody click on elements. Okay. And let's see, Andrew, what do you think? I want something that's really stylized. Maybe this one. Okay. So let's say that I really like this one, but I need like 2 or 3 different sections and I need some more pictures, but that's very specific, right? It would be really hard to find something else that matched that, or to build something. So if you will hover over this design in the left-hand column, these 3 little dots, everybody can see that on the screen. Click the dots. And it will say, see more like this. When you click that, it brings up a couple more options that are very similar in design. They have the same color, they have the same artistic style. And so you're able to find more that are in that style. Oh, here's another one. So we'll grab this one too. So now we have 3 different images that were really quick to find that all have the same stylized style. Right? Okay. So the other thing I wanted to show you, and this is a biggie. Where's your apps? Okay. In the left-hand rail over here where it says apps, can everybody click there for me? You have, this is one of their new things. The new features were just added right before we did this presentation, which was super fun because we already had the outline built and then they changed a bunch of stuff. So we were together this week trying to get caught up and learn all the new features so we could show them to you. We're going to go over some of them, but not all of them, but the AI builder, this panda surfing a wave, and things like that. We're going to go over some of them, but not all of them, but that's a new feature. It also has trending, which is kind of cool if you're trying to do something and you're just out of ideas. But what I wanted to show you, if you scroll all the way down here to like the 4th row, do you see where it says QR code? Okay, so click there. And then you're going to click use, the purple box that says use. It's asking me to enter a URL. Here's how easy this is. I'm going to go to Andrea's website, which is gorgeous, by the way. And her photography is unbelievable. You guys should check it out. So I'm going to, I'm just going to grab this and just copy it. So I'm going to copy the URL, and then I'm going to go back over into my Canva, and I'm just going to paste this here. So I paste my URL, and then I say generate QR code, and bam, bam, there it is. Bam, there's our QR code. You can resize it. I mean, don't make it so small that it's not going to work. You can test it with your camera to make sure that you got the URL that you want. You can also do this, which is super cool. You can recolor it to make it match your design. Where?
Igor,
I don't even see it.
on the brand.
Over here?
No. To the right.
Oh,
Yeah, go, but, click on Igor's, but mine for Andrew.
oh, yeah. There we go. So you can easily change into other brand kits over here, which Andrea will go into this. But if you have one for your school and one for your, t-shirt printing at home, side hustle or whatever, you can have all of these colors, all of these fonts ready to go. So I just click over here and I'm going to grab this, and now it matches the color that I need that goes straight to Andrea's website. So these are her brand colors specifically, and this goes straight to her website. All right. Was that everything? There's other graphic things that you can do under elements. Look, it says magic recommendations.
No, it's on.
Mhm. Yesterday it didn't say that. So there are stickers that you can do here. If you're using a digital design, these can even move. So see, this one is like a click here, which would go great with a QR code. There are photos that you can use, and the photos on Canva are actually pretty good. So you can kind of sort through those and look, but they're usually pretty good photos. Like if I wanted to search waterfall, there's a whole lot of really beautiful photos that pop up here that I can use for waterfalls. And you can even drag the photos off the screen if there's one portion that you want to use. So you can do that too.
Do right click and show them set as. I don't believe that anyway.
Oh, you can also use this set as your background. So you just right click on the photo, scroll down, and then hit set image as background. And then you have this. So I look like I'm making a brochure for people to visit Thailand now. And look how easy that was. All right. Anything else I'm supposed to show them? But there's a lot of stuff there. Just look around under elements. There's stickers, graphics, GIFs. I mean, all kinds of stuff under there that you can add. Okay. Andrea, you're up.
So a lot of times I know some of you, especially in the education field, might need to do some kind of reports, have some charts and graphs probably. So we're going to go through those really quick. But first, I want to show you one other thing with fonts that we didn't think to go over. If you just click on text, if you scroll down, there are just all these different combinations. So if you're trying to make a graphic or something, they will give you all kinds of options for things that you can change into whatever you need your font to be or your text to be. So there are just a lot of different templates in every single area of Canva. So if you're not feeling creative, or if you're not sure what fonts work together, they have a lot of ones set up already that you can just change to however you need it to be. So thought I should mention that really quick. All right, so say I need to make a pie chart. Because we're talking about how many books got sold, how many movies got sold, how many 8 tracks got sold, and Blu-ray and video games. Doing this, you can type directly into, after you click on a chart, it pulls up data and you can just type everything in there, put all your numbers in. They also have an option where you can upload a CSV file, which I plan to do to show you, but forgot. So just imagine there's a CSV file in here that I'm uploading. But so say you can just go in and change your numbers. So probably most people bought movies and someone is still really old school. And let's see, that's 1790. That's 100. I did that. I'm proud. I really didn't think that was going to work out that well. So with the charts, and there's bar charts and line charts and anything, they're all set up exactly the same, where you put in whatever your categories are, whatever your numbers are. And then you can edit the colors to make them your brand colors. So you just click on the old color and put in the new color. Unfortunately, there's not a shortcut where you can just apply all your brand colors at once. But once you do it a couple times, you can copy and paste the element you're using, so the chart, or if it's a shape or something. So that'll make it a little bit easier. But so that's charts really quick. Any questions on that? I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that because I know a lot of people don't really use them, or most people will use Excel. So all of these automatically save. So right now, if I go and open a new Canva home screen and look at my recent designs, all these things are in here. So it will automatically save it. What I suggest, and I'm going to close this one so I don't really mess myself up. It'll shut up, Crim. Where it says at this top, like untitled design Facebook post, I'm going to call that color change example. So that way everything's not just saved as untitled design. That would be crazy making. Also, it changes it at the top in your browser tab, which also makes it a lot easier when, like right now, we're going through, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Canva worksheets or Canva tabs open. So it just helps you make it easier to find things. So pie chart. And then tomorrow I'm going to go through and delete all of these out of my Canva. So again, that's charts really quick. I'm going to go back into this one so we can talk more about shapes, because there are so many different options and shapes. They have lines you can use with all kinds of options. So this is just an arrow. I know that's going to be hard to see for all of you, but you can change colors. You can change the thickness of it with this. Oh, yes. So if you're clicked on your arrow and you need it to go up or down, you get a little dot right at the tip of it, and you can drag it any which way you want. Or say it's facing right and you need it to face left, you can, oh Lord.
It's not there. Good looking for blue.
Yeah, where did everything go?
Well.
This is what happens when they update Canva literally 3 days before we did this. Yeah. Yes, you can do that. There is a way somewhere where you can actually flip your shapes. And that we'll figure out again at some point. Maybe in here. I don't know. Very frustrating. Some other options for shapes. I mean, there's stars. Ooh, where'd you go? And you can change the sizing of them. So one thing, okay, this is kind of impossible when that's the same clear square. There we go. One of the cool things that is if you use the bottom right, like when you, let me delete these, that'll help. So if you use the bottom right, like corner to drag, it will keep it in scale. But if you use, say, the left corner, no, left corner will. If you use this bottom one though, it'll distort it. So if you don't want your things to get distorted, make sure you're dragging by the corner. Otherwise, it'll get you some weird proportions. It's a happy little star. We go into animate later, don't we? That's later on. Okay.
The rotate.
Oh, okay. To rotate, so when you're clicked in and like this little arrows come up at the bottom, like the yin yang symbol, that was really cool back when I was in middle school in 1994. You just click on that. You can go all around. So if you want to rotate it, big time you see this happening in Canva in Tennessee is with if someone has something with the tri-stars, because you know they're not entirely even, they're that little rotation. So having that option in Canva is very, very helpful. And then the last thing I want to show you in shapes before we move on to talk more about photos is frames. Frames are very, very cool. These are basically giving you shapes that you can put a picture directly into. So, and same as with everything else, you can search for different things. So if I wanted to say, have a sun, there's a frame that looks like a sun with a little cloud on them. And I can go into my uploads and go ahead and I'll pick the same one I used earlier, put the sunflower in here and just drop it right in. And then if you double click on it, you can move the image around. This is obviously not like the most amazing choice ever, but it's really cool. Like, if you have like a logo or something that you want to put into something else, or if you have background pictures you want to put into like letters, like a lot of people do, they have frames for all the letters, numbers, pretty much anything you can think of. And they're really fun to play around with.
Text.
And-
You would just do a text box and then put it in there. Now you can put photos inside of a letter shaped frame.
Yeah,
You would just shape letter, or you would search letter frame. And then they have a whole collection of them. And there are different fonts that they
Yeah.
have in.
yeah. So like I could do that and do,
If you wanted to put the text inside of there, like overlay, you would just put a text box and write what you wanted, and it would lay it on top of it.
there we go.
But would it stay within the confines of the data?
It would not, but we'll go into how to do grouping later. And that's how you can make sure that if you have a shape and you've got text to keep them together. And grouping will also, if you change the size of one, it'll change. Thanks. That's Welch Point in Sparta. It's one of my favorite places. All right, so that is frames. We're gonna go a little bit more into photos now. Because there's a lot of really cool options. And I will say a lot of these are only available in Canva Pro. So one of them I'm gonna show you right now is, oh yeah. Let's see. let's see, I know we picked out some good ones yesterday. Flower field. There we go. This should be good.
Yeah.
Okay, so say I really like the flowers in this, but I don't want that gray cloudy background because it doesn't fit my vibe. I'm gonna go to edit photo. And again, this is a pro only feature, so if you don't see it and you're not in pro, that's fine. But I'm gonna click on background remover. And it's gonna take it out for me. And this makes this a clear background, so I can drop this on top of, say if I had just, I don't know, that background, it'll just show up in front of it. I'm gonna take that background out though, because it's ugly. And then I'm gonna undo that. Undo that. Sorry, what, Terry? So let me get back in there. Photos. Okay, so when you click on your photo, if you say edit photo, it should be in tools right at the top. Yeah. And one side has like a sky and one side has, you can see like the black and white check or gray and white check. Got it? Everyone else able to find this? Okay, cool. Oh, yeah.
For her, because then it's just the painting.
Oh, yeah. That would work really well for you because then you can place it in a template really easily. All right. So there's a lot of other options when you're in to edit photos. One thing that I use a lot is adjust. There's an auto adjust that didn't really do a whole lot on this one. Probably because it's an actual Canva photo. But it'll brighten things up however it needs to be. Now for this, like if I want to make this feel like a warmer picture, I can adjust the temperature. I can make it feel cooler. If I want it brighter, I can move this up and down, change the contrast. So there's lots of options there. I like to play around a lot with vibrance and saturation and make things like really pop. So I think those are always fun to play with, especially if you've got something vibrant like flowers or something like that. And you can also change the texture. So if you want to make everything look a little clearer or a little more blurred, there's just a lot of options just in that adjust feature. There's also ways to filter your entire photo. So underneath tools, you have filters. And if you go to see all, you can see all the different ones. So they have more natural feeling things. Where that looks like it just kind of brightened it, made the sky look a little bluer. There's these ones that make it like really ugly, but very warm and like washed out. And some of these things will work better depending on what your photo is, obviously. This one kind of fades it out, looks a little more vintage. And then you can make it go in black and white. And then this color pop can be really fun to play with, especially if you're doing some kind of like music flyer or something like that. It's really fun to play around with. Let's go back to none though. And then there's also different effects. There's a blur feature where if you want to make something blurred for some reason, maybe it's a photo you have in the background, so you don't want it to be the focus. You can click on blur and then you can move the intensity up and down. And we're gonna undo that as well. There we go. Let's see, where am I at? Smart mockups. I never looked into that. Okay. So this is one of the new features that we have just now started to really find out, but this is the text to image. So where you find out about a panda surfing a wave. And this right now so far works more with really like stylized things, a little like abstract, not so much with people, because I've seen with the AI with people, it'll give you like a third ear or 6 fingers, and it's really kind of creepy. So I suggest maybe don't use that yet, but I'm gonna say, so Easter is coming up. So Easter egg hunt bright. And we're gonna see what happens. Watch it come up with nothing. Be like, Andrea, what are you thinking? Here we go. So it is just from my text generating photos that fit with the idea of a bright Easter egg hunt.
Something kind of crazy like the.
Yeah.
You just normally could not find it.
Yes. Like dogs wearing hats. Oh, I probably need to. Okay. Oh, dogs wearing hats.
Thing like that, a rainbow background.
Where's
Like type it.
oh on rain? I was like, is that a thing to click that I am not seeing somehow? All right.
Yeah, pretty good. This one will probably work better. This is on beta phase, so
Yeah.
it doesn't always work, and it's kind of iffy sometimes. There we go.
It is maybe not the best hats ever, but it's guaranteed to make you happy. I will give you that guarantee. And yeah, like Jodi said, a lot of these features are still in beta testing. Some of them we've been trying to work on that work one time and then don't work the next 7 times. So some of those are just going to be skipped today. Do you want me to just go through grouping and ungrouping? Because otherwise you're coming up for like 3 seconds. Cool. All right. So we talked about if you have like one of the elements, a shape, and you want to put text on it. So let's go into, say you have a star. And you have 2 options for text. So most of them with the shape, you can type right on it. So I'm gonna, Andrea is a rock star. And I'm gonna go ahead and put my font up so I can put my text in that way. And that works. It will obviously, it'll size with this, but it's not very dynamic. So usually what I do is I'll just insert a new text box. So I'll leave the shape as it is. I'll go to text and I'm going to say, ooh, this looks like it goes well with a star. So I need to make this smaller. This worked better in my head, y'all. Okay. There we go. Shine, Andrea. That works. It's good enough. And I want to make this so if I resize the star or I move the star around, that I don't lose the text, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure these are centered. And I'm going to make sure they're centered both on the page and together. So I'm going to say position, and I'm going to align to page middle. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the star. So now I know that these are, it's hard to tell, but there we go, they're right in the middle. So they line up how you want them to. Then I am going to select both the text and the star. And if you just like click and drag, you can see they're both selected. I'm going to right click and say group. And now when I move this around, it's connected. And if I make the star bigger, the font gets bigger as well.
To me, this is the most useful tool on Canva, the grouping. And
Mhm.
you know, a lot of things, and you're moving things around, it can get really messy if you're not making the things stick together that you need.
Yes. And it's especially helpful, like if you have a flyer that has an image on one side and then all text, if you group the text and then you can use the alignment features, like the aligned middle of the page or to left side of page to make sure everything stays in a line. You also, if you ungroup these, when I right click, align elements. So I can say, let's right align these, which I want to do. You want the text in the middle, of course. But then I can go back to center easily. Oh, okay. It won't really work on this. I can try it. Let's see, space evenly, vertically. So this is just, if I do this space evenly, I'll show that again. It's the same thing. You right click on the elements, say space evenly, and say, I want these to be spread out a little more evenly. I'm going to say space evenly vertically, and it'll move it so everything's kind of the same distance away. But I'm going to go back because that doesn't look right for this particular graphic. Let's see. The other cool thing you can do is say I have a photo I want to put over this. Let's see, I'm just going to grab this one. Or actually, I want to put the photo in the back. So I'm going to say set image as background. And I want more of the photo to come through here. So if I click on my star, I can go to the little 3 dots next to position. Depending on how much is showing on your screen, it might just show transparency, which is the little like checkerboard where it goes dark to light. But I'm going to set my transparency to like 50%. So you can see the picture through your shape. And this can be really cool. So one of my many side jobs is I host a radio show on Light Rock. And when I post on our social media, I like to post a photo of whatever artist I'm talking to and then do a quote from them. And I do all of those in Canva. And I can actually show you an example because I should have one pretty easily. So here we go. This is one of my student workers, but she's also an amazing graphic designer. But so I used a photo of her and then I made the text and the box around it transparent so you could see the photo through it. And just gives a little more interest. I like to do that a lot. I also use that a lot in presentations for work. And I think it's on to you. I kind of jumped around in there, but I think we're good.
Okay. So I'm going to show you if you're trying to create like a promotional kit, like you need to promote something, but of course you need it to go out in more than one place, right? You need a poster that you're going to print. You need a Facebook post. And then of course, Instagram is not the same size. So you have to resize for Instagram so it doesn't cut off the sides of your graphic. I'm going to show you how to easily recreate the same image and size it for everything that you need so that you can do that content on more than one channel. So the mouse would help. Okay, where are we at? Where's our spring sale? Okay.
all of them.
Whoops, I didn't mean to do that, so. I'm just gonna put something back in there. Okay. So our spring sale is ready to go. We've approved this design. It looks way prettier than it does here when we're ready to send it out. And we're going to, we're ready to print this or recreate. Let's say this is Facebook, right? No, this is Instagram.
Facebook.
It's labeled Instagram. Okay, we're not sure. We're gonna up here easily where it says resize. It has these sizes here. But if you scroll down, it will automatically give you the other sizes that you might need for your other posting. So let's say that we want this to be in, let's see, a Facebook cover, for instance. We're going to click it and you can actually do like more than one, but for this, we're just going to do one. And you're going to hit copy and resize. If you only hit resize, it's going to abandon the original and change everything into the second. You want to do copy and resize. It's easier to remember because that one is more predominant. So you're going to click on that one. It's going to open a whole new tab. It's still going to save the original and see now this is resized. It's a little bit funky, so you might have to kind of play around with it, move some things around, you know, rescale it to make it make sense again. So, you know, you might want to do some of the resize some of the elements or move them around. That actually doesn't look terrible though. So we're just going to kind of move everything over. You always have to finesse it a little bit. Canva isn't that advanced yet to kind of know, but Canva's implementing new things all the time. So I think that it probably won't be long until they have that integrated there. Oh, here's the flip. Look. Okay, I'm going to show you the flip. Andrea was trying to find it earlier. So it's up here in the top. I think it's because you were searching, you had a filter on. A lot of times if you can't find a feature, it's because you have some kind of filter set over here in the search bar. So if you'll just make sure there's nothing there, then your features will show back up. So we're going to flip this and it's going to ask me which direction. So let's flip it vertically. And now I have the little spray of flowers at the top. So I like that better. We're going to keep it like that. And now we're resized for our Facebook cover photo. There we go. We have that one. If you want to do more, you just resize again, choose what you want, finesse it a little bit, and you're ready to go. Let's say that I like this, but I want to make a few more renditions of it, a few more styles. If you hit add page, it just creates a page with whatever background you have. Okay, so that's not what I was trying to do. I was trying to exactly recreate this. So you're going to select the big square and you're going to hit this that says duplicate page. When you hit that, I have an exact carbon copy. This is great if you're really not sure about a design, like you're kind of feeling it, but you're just not sold. You can kind of stop where you're at and then go in and change some colors. So I'm just really not feeling the green on the green. So I think I'm going to play around with this and I'm going to try to change it to a different color. So now I have the same thing. I've duplicated the page, but I have different versions of this. And you can title each of these pages. Processing for new template, copy. Is this all the same thing on the outline? Copy, design, size, and copy. It's all the same thing. Okay. Oh, sorry. I think this is all the same thing. Additional pages to the thing resize for new templates. So we did. Okay.
I think the only thing we're missing is maybe it's file, resize and copy.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
It might be different size, but like resize.
Like saving it.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say that this is ready to go. We get a lot of questions about like which format do you know, or how do you know which format to use? When you click share down here, And I do want to say Canva is really good with printing. Their printing is really affordable, and it's very consistent. So you can always check printing prices there. But when I tell it to download, I have the option here, and it's always going to tell you which one is suggested. But maybe I'm sending it to somebody that needs it in a JPEG, right? So you just pop this open. You can select what you need. SVG is best for web designs, but it kind of prompts you as to what are the best design formats. And then when you go under PDF print, I wanted to show you this. If you're printing it to actually print out at the printer and go pick up hard copies, they usually want you to do the crop and bleed, which is already done for you. If you're sending it through email, you can flatten it to make it go through faster and take up less space. You can tell it if you want it to do both pages, or if you just want it to do one of these pages. If you have multiple pages, you can, well, it usually asks you current page, and you can just select one of those. And then right here, it tells you the color scheme. There's a different color scheme for, well, not scheme, that's not the right word. Andrew, how do you describe that? Like the difference?
Oh, color profile, that's like.
Color profile.
Yeah.
So yeah, you tell them.
So, it's typically
For digital.
for a website or for sharing on social media. CMYK is just a little bit more precise for when you're getting things printed. Typically what you're doing in Canva, it's probably not going to matter that much, whichever one you do. Because typically you're not doing like large scale, like
Banners and things
Yeah.
like that.
with like very detailed images with a lot of variety in color. Like this picture here is probably one of the more like colorful things you're gonna see with like different shades and all of that. Mostly it's gonna be more graphical, so you're not gonna have that variety. So RGB is usually fine. That's what I'm getting at.
One thing that I do want to say though is if you're doing something for print and you have a lot of black or a lot of red, you definitely want to do the other color profile, because if you don't select that, sometimes you can see all of the colors mixed in with the black if it's not a really crisp black.
So we designed something last year for one on the west side about transportation. And I sent it to them, and they wanted to add something, a QR code or something on my thing. And I couldn't make it where I had to like let her into my Canva account because I could not figure out how to save it for her to be able to edit anything.
So Canva,
I don't know.
you can do the share. It depends on what format it's in. Typically, what happens with a PDF is they take it and they smash it all into one layer. And so then a lot of computer programs can't open that up and they can't layer it or do anything with it. If you use like a JPEG, people can almost always slap something on top of it. That's a formatting issue. I will say with some of the new features, which we're not going to go through because we don't have time, but one of the new features is Canva documents. And you can actually pull in a document. It will bust it apart like Adobe documents into different layers. And it's just like having this Canva design. Like if this was a PDF and I had dragged this in here, it was all one layer. I couldn't do anything with it. Canva will bust it apart and I can take that PDF and change out the photos, change the font, anything. That is a really cool feature because Adobe PDF is difficult sometimes. So I'm really excited about that one. Again, it's in beta. It's not really working great, but I would say in a couple of weeks, they're going to have all of this figured out. So a couple of features that are new is Canva Draw, which like if you're on a whiteboard and you draw a circle, nobody can draw a perfect circle, right? This just pops it into a perfect circle. A star, again, nobody can draw a star. And look proportional, but it'll just pop it into a perfect star. The text to image, which you saw, is the AI powered image generation. Magic Write is really cool. This is AI powered content writing. So I did one and it was like, ask customers for a Google review. and I hit generate, and it's like, thank you for visiting our business. We appreciate your feedback. Please follow this link to fill out the Google form or to write a Google review. And it's like that. So if you're needing short blurbs of content about something specific, the Magic Write is good. It also has Translate, where it translates into 100 different languages. It has Magic Design, which is where you can upload an image and then you can tell it kind of what you want the image to do, and it will distort it kind of to do that. It has animations, so you can, let's say we have a bee, which you'll see this in a minute, and I want the bee. It's an element that I chose, like a little sticker, and it's a bee, or Heather, maybe a bus, and I want that to kind of move across the screen. You just click it, you hit animate, and you drag your mouse, and then you hit create, and then the bee moves across the screen. And then there's Beat Sync, which is where you can sync videos and music, and it will magically recommend ones that match each other. So let's say you have a song you love, but no video, it'll populate videos. If you have a video you love, but no song, it will do the same thing, kind of like TikTok. It has a YouTube video editor. There's a lot of things that are coming, which we don't have time to cover. But what we want you to do is we want you to work on a project now. This is not your chance to sneak out and leave. Like, we really want to help you. So everybody open something up, create something that you think would be helpful to you. I have myself, Andrea, and 2 interns here. So there's 4 of us. So we can really dig in and help you for a few minutes. And there's a couple of other people in here that are probably pretty good, and you can ask your neighbor and they can help you too. But we would like for you to do that. And while you're doing that, I want to show you a video with the new features on it. And this is going to play so you guys can kind of watch it, but this is their new features. So you can see, you can kind of drop stuff in there. It populates a lot of different options. It's got some new presentation features. This is the Magic Write. So you see, it's just that fast. Translate, again, you just choose which language you want. This is really cool, the Magic Edit. You just tell it you want a red flower instead of a blue. You can erase things out of a photo. You can do the text to image. This is the Canva draw. There's the bee. Beat syncs for video content. There's the bee we mentioned. It's a lot. We're going to let this run on repeat. Towards the end, we're going to put a graphic up with our contact information. We're going to do another workshop if you want to come back. We might do like a level 2 workshop if you really want to dig in and do some more advanced things. But if everybody can start working on something, we'll come around and help you for a few minutes. Anything else?
I feel like I'm kind of learning. I think we should know like what's going.
Yeah. Oh, there's one more thing that is really super important. It's not working well, but we do want to show them where it's at. And that's going to be your brand kit, which is where you keep all of your colors and your fonts in one and they're always there.
So loud in here now. So y'all saw some of this as we were going through and I was making changes and things using different colors from the correct brands. But if you go to your Canva homepage, there's this selection called Brand Hub. And you can choose that. And for me, I've got several different things. So I've got all my tech things. I've got the radio show. I've got Big Payback, which I've worked on with nonprofits. And then I've got my photography, which I have the most in. So I'm going to click in that. And you can save all your logos in there, which is really nice. So that way you always have them. You can have your color palette saved. A really cool thing you can do, and I'm not going to do this with mine because I've already done it and I don't want to mess it up again. But if you click on one of your logos and the little 3 dots, you can say get logo colors. And so that'll pull the colors and the codes directly out of your logo to create a new color palette. So let's see, say I uploaded this and said, that's my new logo. Should be a terrible logo. Don't ever use something like that. But I could say get logo colors. And you can see where it's pulled them down here from this file, which of course is grays and black.
You're brand new, like this is the first, no shooting, pull in your look, get your color, get all that thing.
Exactly. And then the other things you can save in there are you have specific fonts, like I use the fonts from my logo. So I have those saved in here. I don't have any photos saved in here or graphics, but then I have my icons. So I don't use my full logo most of the time because it's watercolor. It doesn't always look great in social media posts. So I just use these trees. And then the favicon, that is like, if you go to my website, it's hard to see because it's green. But instead of having just like the little normal chrome thing, it's got a little AK for my initials. So you can save all those stuff in here. And when you go into, when you're in, say, one of your designs, like say I click on one of these fonts and I go to color, it gives you the options of using the colors from your color palette. If I click on font, it'll list out my fonts here. So it's really helpful, and it helps you stay consistent. Eventually they will get these new brand templates set up, where you can literally just click it, say create brand template, and it will give you an option of like, this is the style you want. You change the colors, you put in your information, and then it makes copies for anything you suggest. So Instagram post, Facebook post, whatever. Right now it's not working correctly, so we're not going to take you through it. So, and was that it? Okay. There we go. Okay, why should I then let you know?